All right, so this is the first opening plenary for the day, and it's going to be an interesting topic. And we're going to open up the floor for questions towards the end. And the topic is about catalyzing regional competitiveness, the JS-SEZ Blueprint for cross-border innovation and sustainable industrial growth. Okay, so now we were talking about some of the opportunities here. So I'd like to ask the gentleman, what are some of the strategic advantages does the JS-SEZ create for companies looking to expand manufacturing, tech, and innovation activities across the Johor-Singapore corridor? Okay, who would like to begin first? Okay, we have Vinathan. Would you like to start first?
It is a punishment because I came late. Anyway, first of all, good morning to everyone. Thank you, Lily, for inviting me to be one of the speaker today over here. This is amazing summit. Thrilled to be here, and well, I am an underdog speaker, so I hope I can share some relevant insight to you guys. And I'm trying to establish the expedition here. Right? Yeah, so the strategy advantage that you can see, well, there's a three key developments that are happening here where you can really see the traction on JS-SEZ. Let's talk about number one. Let's talk about connectivity, right? As what Dr. Wasni mentioned earlier, right? Both sides we have started for the movement of people, right? QR code clearance, right? That means passport free. It really gives it reduces the significant amount of traffic, especially for movement of people to people. The ongoing, of course, that's a game changer. There's another game changer coming up, which is the RTS, which is coming up very soon, hopefully by Jan 2027. That will be another big game changer, right? Amazing movement of people across both sides on that. And the streamline of the custom processes that's ongoing, that's also another game changer. Will what do you call that? Streamline the whole process of movement of goods, the documentation, digitalization, so on, and all of that. So you can see that itself, it's a number one thing that is happening. It's already happened. Some of this still ongoing. Right? The second thing is the investment facilitation infrastructure that we have established, right? The Invest Malaysia Facilitation Center Johor, or in short is known as IMFCG, right? It's a truly one-stop center, a functional one-stop center, right? Meaning that it's actually an extension from Cranberry, where MIDA started first, Invest Malaysia Facilitation Center, whereby we get all the decision makers from other ministries, departments, or at least the one that have access to the decision maker, to address concerns and issues from the investors, whether it's in the immigration department, this custom department, whether it's in the utilities department, even tax department and so on. Now, this has been extended to Johor for JS-SEZ, right? And for the first time, we have also invited the local council folks to come on board, which is amazing, right? So it's a truly one-stop center where any concern that you have, it is not only from post-invest, this is from pre-consultation itself, right? Whether it's on talent, whether it's on, immigrations and all of that. And this, we can see amazing traction, from Jan to December last year, sir. I think there has been more than 1,000 inquiries coming in that we have handled this IMFCJ, and they have handled the inquiries. And out of that, I think there's a potential about 131 projects that we are looking at it over potential investment over 70 billion. This is amazing, right? But of course, this is still an early stage, right? Because of this investment facilitation center that we have, the ultimate goal is to make sure that the investor's journey to be more seamless, right? Now, the third piece is the dual strategy or twinning model, right? Meaning that use each location what it does best. So this is where we see the strength, both countries, both Johor and Singapore, the strength that they have. Singapore, capital market, connectivity, global connectivity, innovations, R&D and all that, we excel in this. Well, Johor, it's not only offering about space, or cost is much cheaper, relatively cheaper, but it also has the industrial prowess, the supply chain, talent. We have amazing talent. Because there's always people talk about it. I'm sure my friend will be able to spell it. People say there's always been, we don't have enough talent. Actually, we have talent. It's just that specific skills that is needed that need to be grouped, right? So this dual strategy that we have, we are not detecting that you must have something in Singapore, then we can have something in Johor, or you have something in Johor, then we can have something in Brazil. What we are saying, this is the platform that we have created, and it is up to the investor how they want to make use, how they want to use, based on their business model yet. So these are the new strategy advantage that I can give. I stop it.
How about Nachman? Your turn.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. I think I'll cover a little bit on the human capital side and the advantage that we have over in Johor. The numbers speaks for itself, right? There's about 40,000 high school final year students every year in Johor. So you have a mix of educated and also probably some who prefer to just go straight into the workforce. We've got about 100,000 tertiary students in TVET, diploma, degrees, and masters studying right here in Johor itself. And we produce about 36,000 to 35,000 graduates almost every year. And the majority of our students are in STEM fields. So you have technical, in TVET, engineering graduates are the highest number coming out from Johor. We've got pretty good two institutions, UTM, which is one of the premier technical universities in Malaysia, located in Johor. And we've got UTHM, which is the number 2 research and technical universities. UTHM also in Johor, supported by other public and private institutions. So the numbers are strong in terms of graduates, students coming into the labor force. The second part is in terms of the overall labor force participation in Johor itself. I think we've got about 3.8 to 3.9 population, about 1.7 million currently active labor participants. So that's pretty high for Malaysia. I think we are about 71% to 72% compared to the national average. So we are actively participating in the labor market. But we still are mid-tier in terms of our wage, average and median wage in Johor. So we are cheaper than the likes of Penang, KL, Selangor. But also we are because of the education factor, etc., we are above Kelantan, Sabah, and the lower tier states. So what this means is you've got a number that is naturally existing in Johor. This is almost as powerful as the land size that we have, because demographics, you cannot transform demographics in 5 to 10 years time. It's very difficult. You Singaporeans know this. It takes a lot of effort for you to bring up your birth rate and produce more babies in Singapore, despite all the incentives that you put in. Johor has that covered, right? And more of the youths are getting tertiary education, and the job of Johor Talent Development Council is to ensure that the tertiary education that they are taking currently is relevant to the industry. Now, even if it's not relevant, that means there are certain skill sets that are missing, as Mr. Binod said. That's where programs like Skills for Johor, which has about 20 million ringgit to spend on this year alone on upskilling and reskilling the workforce to cater to the specific industry needs. So we've got partners like Johor Skills, KPYPJ, Polytechnic, and all that ready to deploy training programs for your specific industries. It will not be an overnight solution, of course, but I think what we have is that raw numbers together with the policy in place to ensure that the people that we produce are being adapted to the requirements of the industry. So data center training is a best example. Johor is at the forefront in terms of producing data center technicians, etc. Selangor is catching up, of course, because they are also focusing on data centers. But these are just indicators, number one. Number two, in terms of talent, right? The wage growth is there for you to look at it as an opportunity rather than a rising cost. It means that there is still room for us to be more productive at the individual level and for your companies to make more profit compared to the industries in Penang and Selangor. So they are already at the top tier, right? Penang in terms of advanced manufacturing, Selangor in terms of manufacturing. But Johor, with its diversified economy, has the huge potential for your respective businesses to come in and say that, okay, my job is to hire these raw talents. We together at the company itself and the talents will continue to grow over the next 3 to 4 years. So that's I think where I come in, and we at Johor Corporation and JTDC and Johor Skills, all these other things that I'm looking after, are trying to help and build that narrative, not just the storyline, but also the factual on the ground. So I hope that investors and also partners, not just from Singapore, but also here in Johor, realize that we are sitting at a crossroad for Johor. We have a huge ambition by 2030 to be a developed state. And that requires our GDP from currently 150 billion to double to about 260 billion by 2030. And that requires everyone to come in and chip in and bring their investments to Johor. So I hope that today's session and more sessions, I think we have a lot of events lined up for 2026, would further encourage investors to come into Johor. And we want to beat last year's number of 110B. I think we have got a target that I'm not allowed to say, but we want to beat 110B for this year as well, inshallah. So yeah.
Well, would it be an exciting 2030? Raja,